Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. So in this one I'm sharing a really great technique for creating a fun background in your art journal. So this is using grids as a background. This is a grid that I created using a piece of watercolour paper that I painted some colours onto on one of Dina's classes at Harrogate at Art from the Heart. Dina often says that creating something and making it small, you can make delicious pieces of art, and it is so true. So this was an A4 piece of paper that I basically painted some pink, blue and purple onto. I think they were neons, and then I added some black marks over the top as a contrast, and then cut it into, well, actually I tore it, as you can see, into those 6 squares, and then positioning them on your page and sticking them on, you've then got an instant background. So it gives you a great starting point. So you'll see that I initially went in and added some mustard onto those, just using my finger just to kind of smoosh a bit of colour. Then this is the triangle fence stencil from Dina, one of her more recent releases. And here I'm going in with iris. Honestly, you'll be sick of seeing me using this colour. I am using it all the time. It's one of my favourites. So now I've got quite a nice mix of fun colours on this page, giving it a quick dry. I often edit out a lot of the drying on my videos because who wants to watch paint dry? No, no thanks. But I do usually dry layers between working. This is one way that you can stop those muddy effects happening. But yeah, it just kind of cuts down on any accidents like that. So then I'm going in with some white gloss splatters. This is one of Dina's glosses, so I don't often use the glosses, but they are perfect for doing this kind of technique with. So that's also dried. Then this is Dina's old school mask set. The figure there, I'm going to use that to create my own shape to add onto my page. So I'm going to draw around the figure on a piece of white cardstock and then cut it out. So Dina does sell in her line some chipboard figures, which are great. They are a great size for using in the smaller journal, but I wanted something a bit bigger to cope with the larger page in the A4 craft journal. So actually using these shapes to create your own is a really easy thing to do. And of course, you know, you can paint them, you can just kind of change them up however you want to. I decided to use my craft knife to cut this out just because it was a little bit easier. There were lots of little fiddly bits to do. And so I just cut it straight onto my glass mat, which is perfect for that really. So once I'd done that, then I found a way to kind of bring a bit more interest to the figure. So the first thing I'm going to do is use some black archival ink and a blending sponge and just add some of that ink to the edges of the figure. So that means when it's popped onto the background, it's going to help it stand out a little bit more. And it's a technique that lots and lots of people use for edging pieces that they're going to add onto their journal pages. It's a little bit fiddly, but it's worth doing. So then the next thing that I'm doing is adding a little bit of text stamping onto my figure as well. I'm not going to put it everywhere, just in a few places. And I'm keeping this quite monochrome, so black and white, because my background is so colourful. This is going to be a really nice contrast with what's there already. So then I'm thinking about adding a heart onto my figure. This is something that I do like to do. It's kind of just like a bit of a habit that I've got into. I'm going to pop a little pink heart on. And then gluing the figure in. That's some Art by Marlene sticky glue, which is what it says. It's sticky. It's really good. So I'm going to pop that in place. So I'm not going to the centre of my page. I'm going sort of slightly to the right of centre I think it's best to kind of offset things so you're not working smack bang in the middle. And then I'm going to cut out some little white hearts to add onto the squares as well. So I'm now looking to try and connect the area of white with some other white on the page too. And adding some more hearts onto there is a great way to do this. So now I've got all those stuck in place and I've outlined the little hearts as well. I'm now going to go in with a bit of stamping and I'm adding some dotty stamps and I'm going to overlap those from the edge of the page onto my grid, and that just helps to kind of give some connection to the edge of the page as well. So these are the art cards from Dina Wakley. These are great for finding a prompt for words for your journal page, or even a starting point for the colours. There are so many ways you can use them, and I have more recently seen Dina and other people actually creating on the art cards. I think I might acquire another pack and do that myself as well. The typed ledgers are always perfect for finding a quote. There are so many quotes on those pages that it is easy to find something that works with what you want to say. And I decided I would take one of the words from the quote and use the alpha block stamps to create that word a bit bolder. So I've just popped those on. You can see that's the word calm. I'm going to stamp it onto some white card and then cut out those letters, each one individually. So that little tool I'm using there is from We Are Memory Keepers. It's like a little, I don't know what to call it. You can just get a bit more even pressure through your stamping. Yeah, a stamping tool, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm sure it has a proper name, but I cannot think what it is. So then I'm just going to stick it all in place and start to pull the page together. Cutting those letters up means that you can then arrange them in a more loose way than just sticking them on kind of printed next to each other. So you can kind of mix it up a little bit. So then I'm just adding the word be in there so that it makes sense of the quote and the extra word that I've added on. And I've handwritten that myself onto a piece of white card. I'm going to stick that on. And then that is pretty much it for this page. So using that grid as a background is a great way to start a journal page. You can get some colour onto there and some interest. And you can use some of those collage pieces of paper that you will have lying around in your stash. It's a great way to make a start. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video and I hope to see you again soon.